Hi everybody, my name is Stephanie from Summers Photography, and this is one of our parts of the photography course, our mini tutorials on video, and we're looking at aperture and depth of field. So this is where people get a little bit stuck with apertures and depth of fields, because that's where the numbers really come into in photography. But really it's not that complicated once you know how. So there's two main parts to it. Your aperture priority is what controls the depth of field. That broken down means what part do you want in focus, or how much do you want in focus. So if you were to photograph me just now on a narrow depth of field, I would be in focus and my background would be completely out of focus. On a wide depth of field, myself, the midground and the background and the beach would all be in focus. So it really depends on what kind of look you're going for. For professional photographers, we tend to really shoot on a narrow depth of field. Now that is a sweeping generalisation, I know, but it really depends on what your subject is. For people, you don't want to have a distracting background. You really need to have a nice, soft, relaxing background so that your subject is really in focus. Now to get to these points, what we need to do is to put our cameras on aperture priority. Now having it on aperture priority, you need to then tell the camera what number you want the aperture to be. So this is where things get a little bit complicated. If you want to have a narrow depth of field, you need to have your camera on f5.6 and under. Depends on what lens you have on the camera, but generally 5.6 will give you a lovely subject nice and focused and your background would be out. If you wanted to get everything in focus, you'd be looking at f8 and upwards. So that makes sure that your foreground, your midground and your background are all in focus. Now with that, it really does depend on what lens you have. To get that really soft, dreamy, creamy background, you would need to be looking at f1.8 or 2.8. Now most kit lenses that come with your SLRs or bridge cameras tend to only really go to f3, f3.5 to 5.6. Now with that, this one is a specialist lens. Now this is my dinky little Olympus pen. It's the EPL7 and it's just so handy for popping in my handbag or my bag for trips away like this one. But the good thing about this is it's a mirrorless camera, so it's kind of the same equivalent as an SLR camera. And the beauty is that I can take the lenses off and be interchangeable. Now with this lens, this is a specialist lens, it's f1.8. So everything that I would take on a narrow depth of field, that background is going to be super soft, creamy and dreamy, and it's just really, really fantastic for the type of photography that I like. Not for everybody perhaps, but it's one of the advantage points of having this lens. Now, I've already taken some shots on the beach today to get the difference between a narrow depth of field where one part's in focus and the background's out, and then a wide depth of field where everything's in focus. I'll put those images to this video as well and pop them all on Facebook for you to have a look. So that's the main aperture priority settings. Have a practice, have a play around with them. Even if you're taking the same photo of the viewpoint box, so this was nice and focused and the beach was out of focus, and then I did the two together. I didn't really like the two together in a wide depth of field because this was vying for the attention of the beach and vice versa. So with the this being a narrow depth of field, it gives the illusion that it is photographing the beach, but it's a little bit different. So it's a little bit softer, so it works really, really well. So practice. Flowers or anything in your back garden, dogs are a great subject as well, and then post your comments and your images in the video below, and I look forward to seeing your shots. Thanks everybody, bye.